Okay, what is the Employee Retirement Income Security Act? This is a broad federal statute administered by a number of federal agencies, including the Department of Labor and the Internal Revenue Service and the Employee Benefit Security Administration. So the statutes and the regulations passed by these administrative agencies require that employers that provide some level of retirement or other benefit plan to their employees must meet certain standards. As a matter of fact, it puts a trust-based or fiduciary standard on these employers with regard to administering that plan. That is, because the employer has duties for how the plan is invested, how its assets are allocated, etc. It puts a trust-based standard there, a duty of loyalty and a duty of care when dealing with the assets of the employee in this context. So there's a large number of reporting requirements for keeping the employee informed about the decisions by the employer with this regard. And particularly, the act itself doesn't require the employer to provide any benefit plans to the employee, but when an employer does opt in or voluntarily provide some level of benefit plan to the employees, ERISA kicks in. And there are primarily two types of plans or two categories of plans covered under ERISA, and that's a defined benefit plan, and the other one is a defined contribution plan. Defined benefit plan, they're becoming less and less common because those basically say an employee works for this period of time. After that period of time, the employer will continue to provide these benefits for a certain period of time or in perpetuity. Where a defined contribution plan, on the other hand, basically says these are the terms by which if the employee wants to invest or put funds towards an investment like a 401k or IRA or some savings plan like that, and the employer administers that, then there are standards on that type of relationship. But the primary protections there to the employee is regards that the plan has to remain funded at a certain level throughout the employee's career as a percentage of total obligations out there. Then the actuaries come up with formulas to make certain that the employer is meeting their defined benefit plan requirements. Also, when a plan like that vests. Okay, so when does the employee have those rights, regardless if they're fired, leave the employer, etc. So the vesting schedule, again, is a primary area covered by ERISA. But these are just tidbits for the major components of a very broad act administered in a lot of way that attempts to provide some level of security to employees with regard to their benefit plans that are maintained by the employer.